The arrest this morning was in Dale City in Prince William County, right here in Northern Virginia, one of the best areas in America. And it was one of the top leaders of MS-13 living here, an illegal immigrant, and that illegal immigrant's going to go back to where he came from. But most importantly, it's this effort that has been enabled by the Trump administration. President Trump said, get the bad guys. I've been working on this literally for the first 3 years of our administration with little to no help from the senior leadership in the federal government and the Biden administration. On day one, we went to work signing a 287G memorandum. It took us 20 hours to get it done. I was able to deputize our state police and our Department of Correction members to go to work in this task force. I want to thank General Bondi. From the second she assumed her position, she was here with us. I want to thank Director Patel. From the second he assumed his position, he was here with us. Resources, capabilities. But I most importantly want to thank the men and women who every day put their lives on the line. These folks go to work with a bulletproof vest on, and they so rarely have anyone say thank you. And today, they deserve a huge thank you, but they deserve a thank you every single day. Over the last 4 weeks, 340 horrific criminals have been arrested here in Northern Virginia. And that allows me to make one last comment. Local jurisdictions that claim sanctuary city status are absolutely unacceptable. Look who's in your community. Look who's living around the corner from citizens that are going to work trying to build their lives in a place that's the best place in America to live and work and raise a family. And yet we have one of the top 3 operatives from the most dangerous gang in America and the world living around the corner, and you sanctuary cities want to give refuge to them. Listen, it's time for us to recognize that Virginia is not a sanctuary state. We are working to get the bad guys out of here. And if you are a local jurisdiction and not helping us and not cooperating with us, you are working against the safety of all of those men and women that call your jurisdiction home. This task force is a sustainable effort, not a one and done. And that is the most impactful part of it. We get to continue to work together to, yes, General Bondi, make America safe again and make Virginia the safest state in America. I just want to thank everyone for their tremendous efforts. And now I want to hand it over to the U.S. Attorney of Virginia's Eastern District, Eric Siebert.
Thank you, Governor. On March 3rd, we officially launched the operations as part of this Homeland Security Task Force. And this is first of its kind in the nation. It's interagency, which makes it unique. And it combines federal, state, and local resources to identify and arrest the most violent gang offenders in the Eastern District of Virginia. So working with our partners of all 4 divisions in the Eastern District of Virginia, we have created an intelligence-based model. And that's the focus, is intelligence-based that drives this moving forward. So we can focus our attention on the transnational organized groups, such as MS-13, that have long plagued our communities. So in less than a month, we have identified 575 targets. We've arrested 342 of those targets, many of them with illegal status. And of the 342 arrested, we've identified 81 individuals with gang or transnational crime affiliation. The Eastern District of Virginia U.S. Attorney's Office has already done 73 federal criminal complaints charging these individuals. And between federal and state partners, we've obtained and executed 39 search warrants. We're already hearing in the community that our efforts are having a deterrent effect on these gangs. And so moving forward with the information that we've obtained from our arrests and search warrants, we plan to use the task force model to continue to identify these bad actors and prioritize the rest of the most violent transnational criminals. I want to thank Attorney General Bondi, Governor Youngkin, FBI Director Patel, DA Administrator Waltz, and Secretary Cole for your trust on this and support of this Virginia task force. And I also want to thank the hard work of the agents and the special agents of Virginia State Police and the federal agents, and also the AUSAs. My prosecutors have been working around the clock to support this task force. And despite the tremendous success of this task force, I want the public to know this is just the beginning of our efforts. We have a sense of urgency on this, And we do not plan on stopping until every one of these violent gang members is off the streets. And to the criminals, I just have to say, we're coming. So at this time, I'd like to turn this over to FBI Director Patel.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose. That is a national security crisis we have not seen ever before. We have a woman or child being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning our communities to safety. As you heard, we took down this morning a top leader of MS-13. That is not done easily. That is done with brilliant law enforcement. And right here, I'm proud, and I think the governor knows I'm biased, having graduated from the University of Richmond, to have this here in the state of Virginia, here in our Northern Virginia resident agency, with our partnership with our Washington field office and our special agents, our SOS folks, our intel analysts, and our support staff. My priority has been law enforcement across the country, and that will not change. But law enforcement across the country cannot be done just by Washington, D.C. and the federal government alone. This task force was stood up 1 month ago. In 1 month, the brave men and women on this task force from state, local, and federal authorities have arrested 342 criminals in the state of Virginia alone. We wanted this to be a successful model. It is a successful model because of you, because of your men and women on the streets. We have the easy job in Washington, D.C. You take it to the max every single day. You put your safety on the line. You put your selfless desires ahead of going home and seeing your families at night because you care more about safeguarding our schools and our community than you do your own safety. So we will always have the backs of good cops because you have the backs of the American people. And this task force is going to go everywhere it is needed across the United States to bring the form of justice and measured security and safety that our American citizens deserve. It is an America First model because we live in the United States of America. And if you are here illegally, you will not be here any longer. And if you are going to continue to commit acts of violent crime, you will meet the same fate that this individual did this morning. And I just want to reiterate what our partners said behind us. This is not possible without the folks that do the job every single day. And as director of the FBI, it is a privilege to lead some of these brave men and women. And the only ask that I have of you in the community is the next time you see a cop, thank them. The next time you see someone safeguarding our schools, shake their hand. The next time you see our brave men and women of the FBI and the local and federal state police take down a violent terrorist, maybe give them a hug. Because those guys, those gals are the ones that are going to continue to keep our city safe. And we will not stop until this national security crisis is recognized, brought into check, and eliminated. Thank you.
Questions?
Amber from Daily Caller.
Thanks.
Hey, Amber.
First question is, how long was this individual living in the United States illegally and operating as a leader of MS-13? And then two, MS-13 has been a huge problem in Virginia for several years now. How many members of that gang do you believe are currently operating in the state?
The bottom line is for far too long. And because of operational security, we won't get into too many of the details about this individual. But if you're here for a minute, a day, a month, or a year, you've been here far too long. And General Bondi has made it a priority at this FBI that we manhunt every single person committing an act of violent crime.
And it should speak volumes that the leader for the entire East Coast was living right here in Virginia, right among us. Question?
Along this
Can I just add something to that? I'm sorry. I just want to reiterate that, first of all, President Trump's executive order declaring the drug gangs and cartels international terrorists is critical underpinning to the work today. Second of all, the collaboration now that's available because we have a 287G memorandum in place is critical. And it allows us then to bring the intelligence together to go pursue and arrest someone like this. And I just want to reiterate again, this is new. And the capabilities that are being displayed right now are capabilities that are now available, not just to Virginia, but to the rest of the country, because of the administration's forward-leaning vision on how to use state and federal resources in collaboration in a way that has not been done. I have to say, Terry Cole has been leading our efforts in the Commonwealth brilliantly, but until we were able to bring in the federal resources in this way, bringing down somebody like this would not really have been possible.
And Governor Youngkin and I, once again, are going to offer this to every governor in our country. Let's see who takes us up on this to keep their states safe. Questions?
Hi. I had been curious, I mean, there's hundreds of these arrests happening so quickly. Had these individuals been identified under the Biden administration? I mean, was there a paper trail of these people? Were they all identified and targeted with the Trump administration in place? And then I also wanted to hear from the governor, too, on Fairfax County. We had heard in recent years issues about the sanctuary policies there, people who are dangerous, illegal aliens, suspected, being set free into the communities and then committing other crimes. So I'm curious what we do from there.
So first, many had been identified. They had been living here. Many had been identified. Living here, they were let freely into our country, all of these illegal aliens. I had gone to that border in September. Nothing humane was happening at that border. Passports stacked everywhere, everywhere, from every country you can imagine. People freely walking across our borders, fighting age men, coming into our country. And this is the result of Joe Biden's open border policy. What our country has been plagued with. But from the second Donald Trump took office, he said he is going to make America safe. He shut down our borders, and now it's our job to get these people out of our country as fast as we can. And this coordinated group effort, this task force that has been put together, is making a difference here, and it will make a difference around the country. That's why you're seeing so many arrests so fast, because we will not have another Laken Riley. We are going to catch them, we are going to apprehend them, and they are not going to like where they are going. Governor Youngkin, did you want to answer the second part?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, this task force was designed in the White House with this team around the table. What do we need to do in order to go after the gangs, the cartels, and of course the drugs in a community like Northern Virginia, like Fairfax County, that has seen county leadership not pursue the necessary steps in order to fight this crime? And this task force was architected in a very quick period of time and stood up immediately. And in fact, when Director Patel was confirmed, within a day, he authorized this facility and these capabilities. General Bondi immediately came to lead it, and we found ourselves with truly one-of-a-kind resources going to work. And I just want to emphasize the pace and the focus. And so, no, these were not lists that were available in the previous administration, because they wouldn't do that. And the minute that we had partners that would do this with us, then lists of 500, 600, 700 targets could be put together in collaboration with state police and federal authorities and our Department of Corrections. Critically important, and I cannot emphasize enough the collaboration and support and leadership out of the new administration that is so different than what we saw in at least the previous 3 years of my administration. Finally, with regards to counties that are demonstrating resistance to cooperate with federal authorities, and particularly with ICE. This is why I have put in a budget amendment in our budget that if they're not going to cooperate with ICE, then we will withhold funding. Now, I need a General Assembly to vote for this, and I need a bunch of Democrats to step up and say, hey, we believe in public safety, and we're going to hold jurisdictions accountable. And with this budget amendment, we can then hold Fairfax County accountable. But I'm also asking for help from our federal partners to make sure that jurisdictions that are not cooperating with ICE, we can in fact step in. And that's why the 287G memorandum that we have signed with the federal government is so important. It allows me to deputize our state police and our Department of Corrections folks, and we can then step in and make sure that we're taking custody of these folks and handing them over to ICE to be deported. This is critically important. We're not backing off, and I do believe there's an invitation here. There's an invitation for everyone to come together and recognize that criminals, literally one of the top operatives in MS-13 is in a community that would have never thought they were there. And if we continue to have sanctuary city philosophies, that's where they're going to go. And I don't believe any community in Virginia wants someone like this living in their community. And that's why it's so important that we come together, put down all the politics, and work together in order to make America safe again. Thank you.
One more question.
We got time for one more. Pierre, ABC.
General Bondi, good morning. I have one question on topic and one question off topic. Can someone
Of course you have to go off topic.
Question number one, can someone describe what this suspect's role was in MS-13 in terms of what kind of activity was he overseeing?
All we're saying now, for certain reasons, we're not identifying him by name. He was one of the top members, top 3 in the entire country, head of the East Coast, one of the 3 leaders, and I will say very violent crimes. Anything you can associate with MS-13, he was the leader over it. All of the violent crimes. So he's very dangerous. He should not have been in this country. He's from El Salvador, and he was recruited at a very early age. Very early age, and it rose to the leadership, and you have to be bad, you have to be tough to get there. But he is no longer tough because he is behind bars.
The off-topic question, in terms of the signals chat controversy that's going on, is DOJ involved at this point? If so, why? If not, why not?
Well, first, it was sensitive information, not classified, and inadvertently released. And what we should be talking about is it was a very successful mission. Our world is now safer because of that mission. We're not going to comment any further on that. If you want to talk about classified information, talk about what was at Hillary Clinton's home that she was trying to bleach bit, talk about the classified documents in Joe Biden's garage that Hunter Biden had access to. This was not classified information. And we are very pleased with the results of that operation and that the entire world is safer because of it. Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming here and reporting.